Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you can find a way to win or you're going to find a way to lose. Listen, like and subscribe, become a member to the channel. Leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Hey, look, man, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. Probably the biggest fight. I know you got Boots and Ortiz. Wilder's back. AJ and Fury could fight at the end of the year. But, for me, you got to show the women fighters some love, man. And I ain't going to lie. I think Claressa Shields and Franchon Crews-Dezurn is definitely the most anticipated fight of the year. But it may be the biggest fight of the year. Not as far as money and everything. And I know when you want to call something the biggest fight of the year, you look at the type of money that's involved. But I just think with all the attention that's been on Claressa Shields and people kind of wondering, what direction is she going with her deal, her promoter, Win Records. I just think there's a lot on the line here. And I know for myself, I'm definitely watching this fight closely because Franchon Crews-Dezurn and Claressa Shields, they both deserve all the respect in the world as fighters. But I think you need to really start to understand with these ladies, the money, legacy, and risk that's involved here. Now, who needs this fight more? Shit. I don't. Maybe Franchon? Maybe Franchon needs it more. You know what I'm saying? But I think this. I think it's all about timing. Claressa seems to be up and away. Now, I spoke to her, and she says all doors are open. Sky's the limit for her and her career as far as fights being made. And I do understand that, and I agree with that. Because, hey, look, at the end of the day, Claressa Shields is one of, or maybe the big dog in female boxing. But fights mean different things at different career stages. A fight with her and Franchon, what does that mean? I don't know, but I kind of like it. You know why? Because Claressa has an opportunity to look out for her friend and give her a payday, right? Which we know they're friends. Big sister, little sister, Claressa's little sister. But they get to put some money in Franchon's pocket. It also gives Claressa an opportunity to come out here, man, and fight for a quality opponent. Now, I'll say this. The whole argument about Franchon, how Franchon beat Shadesha Green, but then, we all talked about already, Shadesha beat Savannah Marshall, and Savannah Marshall beat Franchon. So that's the only thing I'm not really following when it comes to people talking about this fight and how saying that Franchon is a bigger threat than Shadesha. But at the end of the day, it's a same opponent for Claressa Shields, but they're definitely different stakes. You know what I'm saying? Different stakes, and I don't think people understand that. It's very different this time out because timing equals value. Now, you got to look at Claressa's position. Whether you want to say she's one of the faces or she is the face of women's boxing, her face, when you talk about Claressa Shields, when we talk about women's boxing, her face comes to your mind, and other females' faces do too. But her face, I don't care what you say, her face has to come to mind. Is she the biggest name? I think right now she is for sure, 100%. The most accomplished. When you look at the resume, it's kind of hard to argue with that. If you want to start splitting hairs, we can, but she got her stuff together. Amanda Serrano was someone else who, we could sit here and go back and forth on that, but the bottom line is, you can argue that she is, or you can argue that maybe Serrano is. But at the end of the day, this fight with Franchon means maintenance, defense, and perseveration. Now, for Claressa, there's some risk. If she wins, look, it's expected. Like most people expect her to win. Now, if she struggles, they're going to sit here and question her. No one's going to give Franchon the credit she deserves, and no one's going to remember that Franchon in the first fight where Claressa as a pro only had 2.5 weeks to train, and no one's going to talk about how Franchon had a full 12-week camp, and that's why Franchon, I believe, is going to come in the ring as a bull and make this fight ugly for Claressa. But if she loses, the narrative flips instantly. But if she fights on, who knows? People are going to say she's just fighting to protect her status and she doesn't want to lose. Now, with Franchon Crews-Dezurn, look, she's a champion, she's a veteran, she is the underdog, and she knows that. But the fight just means a huge opportunity for her. Could give her the validation that she needs, and it's going to elevate her to the next level. What would she do if she beats Claressa? Probably rematch. It'll be the 6th fight. And then if Claressa beat her, they'd probably do it that'll be 1, 2, 3, it'd be 4 fights, and they have a 7th fight. Like, y'all think I'm joking? Like, that really is something that can happen. But there's a huge reward here for Franchon Crews-Dezurn. If she wins, it's going to be career defining, legacy secured, market value is going to rise. And I think she's fighting to transform her career. I really do. You know what's crazy? I think if Franchon wins, I think she'll be invited to do interviews on all platforms. I'm not talking about content creators, YouTube. No, I think on the big sporting platforms. If Claressa wins, I don't think she'll get shown that love, and I think that's wrong. I just have a feeling a lot of people are sitting back waiting and wanting to see her lose. But I just know it with her and her preparation and looking at her body right now, you can tell Claressa, her body's transformed, people. She looks strong as hell. I ain't gonna lie. She looks strong. Girl got muscles, man. You see her traps. That girl's in shape. But there's a psychological difference here. Claressa, she's defending her titles. Franchon is trying to invade and take them. Defenders carry a fear of loss. So Claressa, she's not trying to lose. And the invaders are going to carry that hope of gain. And that's what Franchon is. She's hoping to gain some new hardware at the heavyweight division. And we just have to wait and see if she's going to be able to do it. Now, the public perception factor. A lot of the public feel the fight's fixed. All right, there you go. I said it. All right, that's what they feel. I've been trying to fight this battle for the longest and tell people, no matter what you think about women's boxing, about Franchon, about Claressa, y'all wrong as hell to sit there and suggest these women are going to fix a fight. Ain't no way in the world 2 women who've been fighting since they've been kids going to come out here now and fix a fight or throw a fight. Just stop. Okay? So if you expect Claressa to dominate, and she dominates, that just means that she was able to up it. Okay? And she had the better game plan. But if Franchon makes it interesting, and possibly gets a victory, then what you going to say then? Is the fight still fixed? So I just think when you look at it, as far as the public perception factor, people expect Claressa to dominate and hoping Franchon makes it interesting. That just changes the energy, you know what I'm saying? Puts a lot of pressure on both of them. And we're just going to have to figure out the judgment, man, because people have already made their minds up, not all, but some, on this fight and how it goes, which I think is crazy. Now, I will say this. Both of these ladies still seem hungry. Neither one seems comfortable. Now, when you're hungry, it sharpens your focus. When you're comfortable, it softens your urgency. So when I look at this, I'm like, damn, which one is sharper? I'm like, they both seem to be sharp and locked in, Who trains harder? You got Claressa, who's trying to protect her greatness. And then you got Franchon, who could be chasing it. So just trying to understand them trying to keep that momentum behind the narrative that they want to push. Because if you listen to Claressa, she'll tell you, man, please. Everything I've done is already written into history. She gonna go off, you know what I'm saying? And with Franchon, she's like, I've done some great things in boxing, but I'm still writing my chapter. I'm not done yet. And a big win over Claressa Shields could give her that boost that she needs to really get her in those conversations about being a Hall of Fame fighter. But she would have to beat Claressa Shields. Like, you beat Claressa Shields, look, it's a big deal, people. Beating Claressa Shields is a big deal. So the reality is stakes are unequal. You know, Claressa loses, everything comes crashing down. Franchon loses, another day in the office, business as usual. And that's just the truth. So a lot of hardware on the line, but when you look at the fight, forget those belts, because it just has a different meaning. So who needs this win more? The champion of legacy or the challenger of destiny? I think they both do. You know what I'm saying? Because this is boxing's hard truth. Talent doesn't guarantee money. The image sells, the drama sells, the story sells. Now, when it comes to Claressa Shields, I mean, we all know, if you've been following the channel, there's been a whole lot of drama. There's been a whole lot going on with the image of Claressa, where you can see that she's trying to figure some things out. And, you know, boxing fans have had questions. But there are other people who aren't boxing fans at all. They're just some people who wake up first thing in the morning, don't floss and brush their teeth, and jump right on the internet and look to talk shit. But at the end of the day, the drama sells. And we're going to see if Claressa Shields and Franchon can sell out this fight that's taking place on February 22nd. Now, Claressa as a brand, listen, she represents championships. Sorry, I was sneezing. But she represents championships. She's got personality. But there's a narrative there as well. Okay? She has to sell tickets. She has to justify contracts. She has to maintain relevance. There's a lot going on with Claressa Shields. Demetrius Salita win records. Like, this event, this is the one. They got to hit a home run. Like, no kidding. They got to hit a home run with this event. Now, as far as using Franchon as a product, listen, Franchon represents stability, professionalism, and she has championship credibility. True boxing fans know this. But now for Franchon, she's got to maximize the moment and leverage the exposure to make sure the world knows who she is. But there's a promotional reality when you're dealing with these two. Promoters want conflict, headlines, emotion, but you can see that these two women got genuine love for each other, because they can't even argue and disrespect each other, and it's just, you can see, like, it's forced. They probably sit back outside the press conference, calling each other, FaceTime, and he, ha ha ha. Got us all out here looking crazy. But what I will tell you is, when it comes to these promoters, they're like, yo, y'all can't be out here kumbaya, being calm. Nah, that's bad marketing. We need drama. Doesn't mean you need to bite somebody, but the drama gives us free advertising. Because, see, the promoters understand the business versus the fighter. The business is always going to say, make noise. The fighter going to say, I hear you, but I need to stay focused. And then that's where conflict arises. Because, see, there's a lot of pressure on Demetrius Salita for tickets to sell. If you have empty seats, that's going to hurt negotiations, future cards. It's going to hurt leverage. But if they can, fill the venue, well, then now Claressa Shields' value is raised, her profile is elevated, and the demand to see her is also raised. And that's what they're hoping for. But we just got to sit back and wait and see if things sell out, because I do know sometimes, like 2 weeks out before a fight, you'll see that the event probably maybe like at 65% capacity, and then you'll start to see, especially the last week of the event, tickets start to fly off the shelf. So I'm not too concerned about ticket sales, man. I do believe that they'll get close to being sold out. But, I mean, you just don't know. Because I know a lot of tickets get given away, I think, to the less fortunate. And to me, that's a positive thing. If you give away 1,000 tickets, I mean, why not openly talk about that? Like, that's basically taking money out of your own pocket. So I think that's a positive thing. But some people don't want you to know that, because their whole thing is I just think there's like politics with, I think this just boils down to politics. Because there's a pay disparity, right? Some people say, if Claressa's making all this money and Franchon's not really making that much, why would y'all give away tickets? Listen, how about this? Hey, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. I mean, who deserves what? I don't know what Franchon is making. I don't know if she's getting a guarantee. I don't know. She hasn't said anything about it. But what I will tell you is the money Claressa's making is because, look, she's the top dog, man. She's the A-side. She's the draw, and she has a lot more at risk. So the money situation, listen, that people need to leave that conversation alone, because Claressa deserves whatever she's going to make. Simple. But the investors and networks, right? They care about a lot of different things. But one thing they care about are numbers, clicks, and reach. If Claressa Shields, Demetrius Salita win records with this event, if they can really hit a home run, I definitely think that Claressa Shields could be on bigger platforms. Like, I would like to see her fight on Netflix. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why she's not fighting on Netflix anyway. But she did say all doors are open for Claressa Shields, so you have to sit back and watch things play out. The one thing we're not sure about is as far as she's going to have a little Papoose Jr. and shit, because I'm just trying to see how she's going to I'm just trying to see how she's going to get all that done, and supposed to be fighting twice this year, and then now you're talking about next year, and like, I think things are going to flare back up big time when with the social media drama. If we get to the end of this year and Claressa, who's openly, said, hey, look, I want to have a child, if for some reason it doesn't work out that way, I think social media is going to, as dark as it is, they're going to come back to life and start to stir the pot again. But Claressa is just burdened, man. She's created some of her own misery. Other things, she doesn't deserve the harassment. But some things, yeah, she definitely brought it on herself, but not everything. But she's expected to deal with social media drama, to try to carry the event, carry the promotion, carry the narrative, deal with a very public relationship. That's heavy, man. That's a lot. And at the same time, now that I say that, it's like, this is why I was talking about. This could affect her focus and could result in Claressa Shields getting scalped and losing. But as she looks to me, like she's locked in and she's in shape. But it gives Franchon an advantage, because all she got to do is show up, perform, upset. Ain't no promotional burden. There's nothing going on with Franchon. Franchon is out here chilling. But this just lets you know that business affects boxing. Personal lives, personal drama affects boxing. And all that pressure leads to a lot of risk taken. Could see you coming in the ring super emotional, and now you're forcing a style that's never been performed. And you're making emotional choices instead of disciplined choices. And now you find yourself in a fight where you could be down on the scorecards, and it's very, very uncomfortable. So, does business pressure help champions rise or crack them? I mean, that's what we're going to find out, because really, it's all about legacy versus risk. Legacy is fragile, man. Built over the years, but it can be changed in minutes. One bad night alters perception, creates doubt. Claressa's legacy, she's a multi-division champion, Olympic legend, cultural figure. This fight adds very little, but the risk, very, very much. I've been watching boxing for a while, and I think about Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Mayweather, Ken Norton. I just think about all these amazing fighters, right? I think there's a greatness trap. Like when you're great, people expect dominance. Excellence becomes boring, and mistakes become scandals. And you're not allowed to be human and have little ups and downs in your personal life. People expect you to be great in and out the ring as a fighter and as a human being. Now, as far as Franchon's legacy, look, she's a champion, she's a survivor, she's underrated. But this fight could define her, it could elevate her, it could immortalize her. That's why I'm telling people don't sleep on Franchon. But you just got to understand the risk distribution. Now, Claressa risks her status, her aura, her authority. I mean, her undefeated record is her crown jewel. If Claressa loses, I do think she will spiral out of control. I think she'll go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now, for Franchon, she don't risk nothing but effort. If she loses, nothing happens. You know what I mean? Ship keeps sailing. And I'm just going to tell you this. You got to understand history's judgment when it comes to fights. And the fans are something else. They remember losses, moments, they remember drama, more than context. So the upset effect, if Franchon wins, that is going to send shockwaves throughout the boxing world. It's going to be a narrative reversal and a hero story. And that's just being as real as I can. Some people are going to feel like, oh, Franchon took down the villain. Because that's how some people see it. But others are just going to see it as two outstanding athletes. Females got in there, performed, and, Franchon just got the victory. But, again, everyone's going to have an opinion, and they're going to perceive these fighters, how they're going to perceive them. But if Claressa wins, that's just going to be confirmation that she's a badass. But it's not going to be no celebration. What's to celebrate when she already beat Franchon 3 times in the amateur, 1 time as a pro? What are we celebrating? But I do think Franchon having a full training camp makes a big difference. And it just shows you that for this to be like 10 years, 9 years or something between the first fight and this fight, it'll just show you how great these fighters age. Because the greatness, it's got to evolve. And I think Claressa has evolved. I think Franchon has evolved. You got to adapt. I think Claressa and Franchon have both adapted. They both became undisputed. Claressa become undisputed multiple times. You got to soften your ego. I think Claressa's still working on that. And sharpen your discipline. And I think they both have extremely sharp discipline. So there's an emotional legacy behind this, not just what you did, but it's kind of how you acted. And I think for Claressa, she's really looking at her attitude, her behavior, how she's been acting, and I think she's trying. Based on looking at some of her recent interviews, you can see she's trying to not get caught up with just being flying off the handle. And I'll be honest with you, when you look at the videos of her family members, what I've concluded is she come from a dark world, man. She come from a dark world, and to try to create separation from as far as what she was and who she wants to be, I think she's stuck in the middle right now. Because it's not easy. But that's no excuse either. Because you can be as prideful as you want. I don't need to this, I don't need to that. But with age comes wisdom. When no one's around, no cameras, no nothing, you sitting there butt naked in the bathroom and you looking at yourself. That's where the wisdom should come into play and be like, all right, I gotta make a change. You don't have to tell anybody anything. You can keep that to yourself. But wisdom's gonna tell you. In order for me to keep surviving, to keep winning, I gotta make some changes. But if you listen to your pride, it's gonna say, I don't need to change shit. All I need to do is keep dominating like I have been. And that's not what you want. Because there's a long-term impact associated with that. So this fight affects, I think, Hall of Fame discussions, public memory, future matchmaking, and also could affect, future paydays. So is this fight about adding to history? I think so. Or protecting it. Could be some of both. Anyway, I am looking forward to this fight, man. I ain't lying, man. I'm looking forward to it. But that being said, y'all keep cool. I need to go drink me some tea. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. You know what I'm in.